Blessings, my beautiful Scorpios. So, your DMT avatar is the master of the matrix. You are the truther. You are the one that is speaking up when you see the manipulation or the illusion that is keeping people stuck in the matrix. This could be in so many different ways, but just know that you truly are the illusion breaker. And your DMT code is the 9. So let's go ahead and start with your January 2024 reading. Okay, so we're going to start in the first position. This is the evolution technology, which is coding to turn on that frequency of 963 through the DNA or on a cellular level so that the frequency of your physical body is raising. And then we'll be using the DMT codes to turn on a very specific pattern or an intelligence within that frequency so that you can explore that, attune to that consciously so that you can move out of the program body and mind. All right, let's see what is in store for you for January of 2024. Okay, so this first position is what you're aware of. So it's the frequency of what you're aware of. And what I'm hearing in this is that you're starting to become more aware of the illusion of your reality. And right now, it's more of you're in the first stages of it. And I'm sure there's a lot of areas in your life where you've already broken through this, but there's something new coming. And you're right, kind of in the place where I think that's what it is, or hey, this needs my attention, right? You're starting to hear something differently, see something differently. You're paying attention because maybe there's I mean, this could be good for the good or the bad, because you have to remember when we're talking about the illusion of the matrix, if we're naming something as good or bad, then we're in our programming, right? And what this card is showing me is that it doesn't matter if this is whether I'm talking about something good or bad here. It's just that you're becoming aware that there is an illusion. And I'm feeling in this that you're starting to understand the difference between emotion and feeling. And you're moving out of making your decisions on trying to create a chemical response in your body to mastering your responses, going from reaction to response. And the response you're holding in a state of awareness that you know this is the next step for you, right? And this doesn't necessarily have to be that you're responding to another person. This could be just your response to reality in general. It can be anything. Okay, let's see what DMT code you have to go with this. So it's the 8. You're also aware that the more you're kind of holding yourself in the space of kind of really focusing on where in my life am I reacting and where do I need to move that into a response so that there's time for my consciousness to move out of the program and into a frequency beyond that, right? And that takes a lot of skill, but you're at least aware of this, right? And that's the first step of change is awareness. And in that, it's starting to just kind of open up some synchronicities to where you're getting maybe the tools that you need to support you there. You're reading books, you're listening to podcasts, but you're kind of in that space where it's now that you've had this awareness, everything's starting to open up and and you're aware of it, right? So amazing. This is exciting because to be able to be the master of the matrix, the illusion breaker, you're going to be doing that over and over and over again, right? It never stops until we become the intelligence of source. Okay, so what is this is what either your programming is reflecting back to you, what your friends and family, reality, this is the reflection of with this awareness, what you're experiencing in your life, right? And I'm getting that people are seeing this focus that you're have that it's this I almost feel like this is a decision that you have made, and that decision others are aware of, or even your programming is aware of. So it's kind of like the ego's not getting away with kind of bringing you into those reactions or those looping cycles as much. That's one way to see it. And or it could be that you're in a looping cycle in a relationship, and this could be with a friend, family, intimate relationship, and you're kind of like, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. And and people are aware of it, that you're staying really focused on staying in this frequency of the illusion breaker. I mean, that's just what I want to say again. And that in that, it's starting to feel really good, and other people are starting to notice. I'm going to go ahead and pull the DMT card for that. Okay. They're not only are they noticing it, but they're starting to see your mastery. And now I'm almost wondering, and this is giving me chills, if this is connected to some sort of skill. So what this could be in your job, it could be a hobby, but that's what the word that came to me was a mastery of a skill, mastery of the matrix, right? I don't know. I hope it let me know if something's coming to you when I say the word skill. And you have to remember this is a general reading for all of you, so it's not going to resonate with everyone, but somebody needed to hear that. The other thing I'm seeing is that you're starting a new level of mastery. So because you're starting to see through the illusion and you're choosing to go from reaction to responding, that's creating a change in the way you're thinking, right? It's changing the way that maybe you're taking lead in places. And in that action, you're starting to be seen as a master. So keep this up. Okay. Make sure there's nothing else for you here. I'm just getting people are seeing you as a leader, a thought leader, a leader in the skill that you're holding. I have a little kitty that's about to jump up here. No jumping. Come up on my lap instead. We got little squishy bear here, my daughter's kitty. Okay, let's move on to this next place is what you're not seeing that you need to see so that we can shift all of this into an even higher frequency. Uh, and you are getting the 7. Okay, at the end, I was seeing kind of like this thought leader, and yet you're starting to be seen as a master in that. And then you get the 7 in the place where you may not be aware of this. And the 7 represents the ability to it's like it's the teacher, it's delivering a message. It's channeling information through the intelligence. And what I heard right when I was saying that, because it's in the first level of the 7, that right now be aware that there is going to be a little bit of programming attached to that because it still hasn't fully been embodied. So what this shift that you're in, it is the beginning of the shift. So it's going to get more intense. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's almost like it has to get a little bit more stirred up so that you can move from the mind into the body. Like, so that then another way of saying that is like the intelligence of this turned on, the frequency is turned on. You're aware of it intellectually. You're doing things intellectually. Like you might be working on your mindset, right? You're trying to change the way you're thinking. You're aware of what you're thinking. People are seeing that you're thinking differently, but it's still in the intellect, meaning it's in the first three levels of consciousness. And it's just a matter of time as you continue to practice it, the frequency in you that's creating this change is going to get strong enough that you're actually going to attune consciousness to the body or to the intelligence, and you're going to move from the intellect to the heart or the intellect to the body. So you're going to go from a place of thinking it to knowing it. And the message that I'm hearing here, keep doing what you're doing, but the awareness of that, knowing that you're still in the intellect, is important because there's still going to be elements of programming connected to it. So just staying open and humble, and that you have more coming in for you, right? There's more than what you're able to see right now. I'm also hearing in that, like, if you're feeling a little bit confused or like the message isn't quite clear, that's why, right? So just give it a little bit of time because it's coming. Just have your practice be the willingness to just be uncomfortable instead of having to go to your filing cabinet to get the answer. Let yourself be uncomfortable and not knowing until you know, right? And when we know, we know. We don't think it, we know it. That's what's trying to happen here. Okay. Let's, okay, yeah. See, it's the new thought, it's the new way, it's the new leadership, but this is in the frequency of 963. So it's kind of like taking everything that you've been doing, but you're up leveling it, you're putting it into the frequency of 963 so that you can be the matrix breaker, or the illusion breaker. And the only way to do that is to not hold your programming and to think through programming. Going into the filing cabinet, I just keep seeing that. It's like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's not seeing clear, but what worked in the past? That, no, no longer. That is not you. It's okay. Well, I know that I'm not going to go back to this because I know where that's leading me. It's going to put me right back into the loop of the illusion of the matrix. What new thought needs to come through? And just by asking that, that intelligence is turning on. And plus, we're going to code you to hold this intelligence in your body so you can consciously attune to it, right? Give it some time to fully move from the intellect into the heart or into the body. Move from thinking to knowing. That's your focus. Okay, let's move on to what will support you in doing that. And I have a feeling we're going to get some sort of focus card, but let's see what comes through. Okay, so ascended DNA. So doing things like this, anything you can do to raise the frequency of your physical body is going to support your consciousness in raising. Because if you think about it, like I like to say, you know, your body is the retreat center. So just like you would go to a yoga retreat or a meditation retreat, or you go to some sort of frequency event where you're attuning to higher frequencies through either scalar technology or whatever it is, right? And when you're activating your DNA, you're turning on that frequency of 963, and your physical body is raising in frequency. So you don't have to go to the retreat. The retreat is your body, right? So that's the goal here. And that's why we want to keep coding, keep coding, keep coding, because our body is learning to hold that higher frequency. And then our consciousness is connecting to that. I'm also hearing in this is no, you know what? I'm going to keep it at that. So keep coding, keep coding. There was a little bit there of just releasing the thought that of kind of being trapped in like a karma loop. And when you start to have thoughts like that, just ask them to be, be the illusion breaker and take responsibility in breaking that illusion for yourself just by asking, break this illusion, and then exploring what life is beyond that, right? Because that's just a loop. And the code that you're getting with this is consciousness outside of your programming. But as the master of the matrix, you're still within the matrix, right? So you're in the matrix and you're aware of it. So it's the your consciousness is able to see the illusion and not agree with it. So you're able to kind of break through that because you can see through the BS, right? You can see through the manipulation of the looping cycles and the distortion that we've all agreed to. The support that's coming in for you is as you keep coding and ascending your DNA, you're starting to move consciousness outside of the matrix altogether. So if you're having trouble seeing through the illusion, ask for this code to be turned on in you. And it's going to activate a frequency where you can hold consciousness outside of the illusion. Because it's one thing to see the illusion when you're in it, it's a whole nother thing when you get to look at the illusion from outside of it. That will help support you in seeing it clearly. So that would be what you would be asking for and then having the experience of. All right, so let's go to the next. This is particles of possibility. And this is the place where now that you have the tool, you have the awareness, you have the tool of how to break through that and move into a frequency beyond it. This is kind of where you're in that abstract space, right? They're starting to come together. All the particles are coming together, but it hasn't quite broke form yet. Oh, that's so weird. I don't know why. I didn't even realize I was doing that. So clearly you're supposed to see the two threes. Okay. So the first three is the thought of new creation or like creative energy. And then the second level of the three is embodying the frequency of what's trying to be created. And you're in the particles of existence, which is also in creation, like it hasn't broke form yet, right? So again, is that driving you guys crazy? I keep saying right. I keep asking you. So maybe I want you to comment and let me know. Are you resonating with this? Just let me know and maybe I'll stop saying that. Okay. This new state that you're in is is in creation. Let it be in creation. Enjoy it is what I'm hearing because you are ascending and you're aware that you are, but there is so much more coming. And so don't get locked in thinking that you know because you don't. Because as soon as we know, we let go what we know and we move on, right? Or otherwise we create a program around what we know. And that's what this is saying is stay in the creation. Stay in that space where everything is possible. And it's okay to have a level of awareness and knowing something in that awareness. But then we have to hold space to know that we only know what we know, because until we attune our consciousness into a higher frequency, that's all we know. So we don't want to be focusing on that. We want to be focusing on what's next. That's what this is saying. Let's see what DMT code is with that. Okay. And again, you got another 6. So that is the ascended DNA. So where is the answer? In your DNA. Ask your DNA. Ask the frequency to be turned on and stay and create. I really see you in that co-creation space with the intelligence of your body, of the intelligence of your DNA. And I just also got, it's breaking all the distortions of the limitation of the body and of the mind. Okay, let's keep going. So we're moving into probability, which is the 9, and which is your number, right? So, and it is in the intellectual state of the illusion breaker. So again, I'm hearing, oh, here comes Squishy Bear. He's just gonna sit right there on the cards. We'll move him here when we code. Uh, you're in this space where you're definitely in the beginning of this big conscious shift of the awareness that you truly are here to break the illusion within yourself and within the world. And that's a really powerful place to be. And let yourself explore that with thought. And but as you're doing that, also kind of holding your thought in this frequency where, okay, this is what I can understand right now, but there's so much more. What's beyond this? And then you're always ascending, and you will master the matrix if you live your life in that way. Hey, sugar, I have one more card to do. Okay. And your last code, I'll hold it up since Squishy Bear is camped out here, and you got the 4. So, and the 4 is new form. So when we break the matrix, when we move through the illusion, we start to create a reality beyond that. And the reality is in that frequency of 963. So your foundation in this new way of being is coming. It is coming. Hey, sugar, can I pick you up here? Come here. You can sit on my lap. Um, okay, so we'll move that here. No, baby. Okay. So know that the thought, this new way of being, is going to become a new foundation, and you are going to embody it, and it's going to be so much better than what you think it's going to be right now. I think that's the biggest message in here is you only know what you know. Keep going, keep pushing your consciousness beyond what you can understand, keep coding the ascended DNA, because you are the master of the matrix, and to be able to do that we have to ascend the DNA. That is what your focus is, and then exploring, okay, this is what I know, but what's beyond this? This is what I know, but what's beyond this? All right, we'll keep it at that. I really love this reading. I think this is one of the most magical ways to live, and I hope that you're feeling that as well. Okay, my illusion breakers, let's code you. So if you want to shut your eyes and activate that frequency of 963, seeing that blue light light up every cell of your body, connecting to that quantum field of your body, that frequency of 963, as we turn on the DMT codes that are holding a very specific intelligence, a pattern of intelligence in the frequency of 963, so that you can experience the highest level of the information that came through this reading. So we are going to turn on the DMT code of 833-11164. Just feeling that activating in your body. You can feel it as your body starts to raise in frequency, upgrading your software system, and then just taking a moment to attune your consciousness to this new frequency. And this is how you master the matrix. All right. Wishing you all so much love as you move into 2024. And I look forward to reading your comments and connecting to you in this new space of the DMT avatar readings.